Hey, what's up peeps? Hope you're well today. Today I'm going to be doing a review of the AER City Pack Pro with X-Pack. I've had this bag for a few weeks now, maybe a month. I've travelled to a couple of countries internationally. I've commuted with it and I've used it multiple times now. So I'm now in a position to talk about this bag in terms of the pros and the cons, which I'll get right into right now. So I'm going to start with the pros. This bag looks fantastic. Looking at this bag, it's got really nice zips here. So these zips are really nice. It's got the waterproofing here, the X-Pack material, which is really nice. It's got a slightly shiny kind of look to it. Not as shiny as it looks on the website, so it's got quite a stealthy, understated look. High quality, high-end look, which I really like. The waterproofing is pretty good. So when I was in Madrid recently, in fact last week, I got caught in a monsoon on the way to the hotel. It was raining cats and dogs for a while, and I managed to get caught up in it, which wasn't great, but it gave me an opportunity to test out the waterproofing element of this backpack. And what I can say is that the waterproofing is actually really good. Most of the stuff in there was absolutely bone dry. The only issue was that on the water bottle end, which is this side, it had let in a bit of water, just a little bit, but the rest, everything else was dry. Laptop was dry, clothing was dry, everything was dry. So it wasn't that bad at all. So the waterproofing is pretty good. It's got very comfortable shoulder straps here. Really comfortable, really good weight distribution. It's got a strap here that you can put across your chest to distribute the weight. It's really good, super duper comfortable. I absolutely love the orange interior of this bag, which I'm going to get open right now. So I'll show you here quickly. It's got this orange lining inside, which looks really good. I'll show you this here. So yeah, it's got an orange lining, which is really good. And yeah, it's got that all throughout the backpack. I'll show you up here as well. So it's got an orange lining, really nice. And yeah, it's just a really good backpack. There's loads of storage in here as well. You've got a big pocket up front here, really big pocket you can put things in. It's got loads of pockets inside here, a mesh one here, you can put things in, put stuff in there as well. It's got another big mesh pocket here, another big pocket on the inside here with a zip here. You can put an air tag in here. Loads of storage in here for cables and whatnot. It's sort of a bit stretchy. You can put your AirPods and your whatever, you know, passport, glasses, sunglasses, valuables, whatever in there. And when this zip is down, it can't open. So let's say you accidentally had left it like this. It'd be very difficult to sort of get that open, you know, and I find that's quite good, especially when you're traveling. What else? It's got a water bottle side as well. You can put your water bottle, it's quite a little bit stretchy, it's really good. And it's got something here as well where you can put your keys, a little lanyard where you can hook your keys. That's really useful. And yeah, just overall, it's just really good for storage. I love the fact that it opens out completely, makes accessing your stuff really easy, so it gives you more options. And yeah, it's just really good. And it's got a really good amount of capacity. I think it's 24 litres, I believe. So yeah, that's really good. And yeah, there's ample space for, oh, I forgot to mention, it's got a laptop compartment at the top as well. You can put the stuff in there. I think I've got a Kindle in there actually now. Yeah, I've got my Kindle in there. And my international plug converter for Europe in there. But yeah, so yeah, here's an example of storage. You put your laptop in here, and it's got a false floor, so you can drop your laptop on the floor and not worry about your laptop hitting the floor. So yeah, it's really good. So yeah, those are the pros. It's a really good backpack. And yeah, those are the pros. Oh yeah, and before I forget, there's also some hooks on the outside of the bag, where you can sort of just hook your water bottle or whatever on there, which I think is quite good. There's one on the water bottle side, and there's also one on the right strap, so you can hook something on the front of here, so it's always good to have that as an option. And oh yeah, forgot to mention as well, this handle is really durable. It's really thick handle. It's just, you know, this is hardcore, man. This is like, you know, heavy duty stuff. It looks like it's made from the same thing that seat belts are made of, so it's basically seatbelt material, it looks like. So yeah, it's very very high quality. So now I'm gonna get onto the cons. So there aren't that many with this bag. It's really good overall. There's one big issue and a couple of smaller issues. So with these zips here, these are quite big zips, right? Which I think is useful because this thing's a bit more difficult to open than non-waterproof backpacks. So I'll give you an example of my old backpack, Wenger, from Amazon, which I had for years. I've had this for like maybe 5 years. And, you know, and opening this thing is a breeze. It's nothing, right? So you can afford to have shorter zippers here, because really and truly there isn't that much resistance. So, you know, you can afford to have this closer to where the movement is on here, because there isn't as much resistance here. With the waterproof, it's a lot more difficult to open, so it makes sense to have this further away, because it gives you more strength to be able to open these zips, right? So I understand that, but the issue is that when is this a good example? Yeah, I use this example. So sometimes they get caught up. So when you want to close it or open it, and this one is there, it gets sort of, I wouldn't call it cross contamination, but it's kind of like the zips can get sort of into the other compartment, because they're so long. It's a distance from the actual trail here to here, so that causes the zip to go into another pocket, which it's not a deal breaker. You know, it's not the end of the world at all with this, right? It's just something to be conscious of. There might be a way around that, but you know, it is what it is. It happens up here a lot as well. So when you open and close this happens a lot. you know, when you're traveling, and say you put your passport in here and your documents, travel documents, whatnot in here, you're going to regularly be opening and closing this. You need to see your passport. You need to take your passport out to get into the plane. You need your passport or your boarding pass, whatever. So you're going to keep on, you might put your wallet in there. So you're just going to keep on doing that. And you may open this in between, all right? Because you have some other stuff in there. And this is going to happen. That's going to end up in there. So there's just something to be conscious of. Anyway, so that's one of the cons. Another issue is something that I'm going to get to in a demonstration with suitcase. So bear with me one moment. So what I'm going to describe now is, to me, quite a big issue with this backpack. Now, the issue is the horizontal luggage pass-through. This was a terrible idea, and I'm going to explain why. So, when you travel, you will need to access your stuff regularly, right? As you move about, you move through the airport, you may need your wallet, you may need your phone, you may need your boarding pass, you may need your passport, you may need chewing gum, you may need your AirPods, tissue, whatever, right? So you're gonna put your stuff in your bag, right? So this is the top of the bag here. You're gonna have your stuff right in here, in the front here, where you're gonna keep on accessing. Now, with this being horizontal, what's gonna happen is your stuff is going to fall down to the bottom here because of gravity, right? So whatever change you've got in there, anything you've got in there is just gonna go zoom. Anything you got in here is gonna go to the bottom, right? And so it's disorientating because you think something's gonna be here or whatever, or you think something's gonna be here or wherever, and then you sort of gotta search for it because the gravity is gonna pull everything down. And then also from a usability standpoint, accessing your backpack from the side like this isn't something you do very often. It's not natural. It's not natural to access your backpack at this angle. It's better if the backpack is upright, so you can just go to the top, get your stuff out, put it back, and keep on moving. Right? With this, you've got to come round and go, oh, where's my... And then you're worried about something falling out of the backpack like that, right? It's such a terrible idea. I found this, usability-wise, absolutely terrible. And I went to 2 countries with this backpack. I went to 2 countries, right? I went to Poland and I went to Spain, right? Recently. So I've tested this out. And it's a terrible, terrible idea. And I don't know who thought of doing this, but it wasn't tested out. I can assure you it wasn't, in my opinion. And nobody else has spoken about this in detail that I've seen online. So hopefully this will enlighten people a bit. So another thing is when you put this on the horizontal luggage pass through, the straps of the bag hang down like that. Now, not a deal breaker, but it would be nice if there was some sort of device, whatever, hook, whatever, that you could, you know, maybe just keep the straps of the bag like that. But that's the minor issue compared to this, right? This should have been vertical, so, or allowed you to put your bag vertically, and this wouldn't even have been an issue. But another thing is that when you put your backpack on your hand luggage, your suitcase, what ends up happening is when you actually try, you have to sort of find a way to align the straps of the bag so that the straps actually go through with this. So you got to try and find, you don't want one strap to be one key there and another one there and this one goes through, because it just is weird. It doesn't work. You have to really align all three of these to get it on there. Terrible, terrible decision on an otherwise really good bag. Terrible decision. I know, you know, I sound quite passionate about it, but you know, it's very disappointing using this bag because it ergonomically made this bag very difficult to use when you're traveling internationally. So yeah, that's something to be aware of. And also, if you're gonna have a horizontal pass-through, why not put a handle on here? Why not put this handle or another handle like this on the side? Maybe not on this side or on the other side, whatever, but so you can actually lift the backpack off of the thing with the handle. It would make a massive difference. So it's just, it was such a poor decision, man. So yeah, there's that. So I'm gonna show you guys what the bag will look like if the pass-through was vertical, right? So if it's a vertical pass-through, you just do this, right? So then when you need to access your stuff and you're rolling along, you just go, oh, okay, I need my passport now. Boom. Oh, I need my whatever now. Boom. You don't have to be going to the side of the thing to try and figure out what's going on. You just see it just from the top. Boom. That's it. Access your stuff from the top. Your hand's here already. Boom. Boom. It's just, I mean, it is just such a, like, it was just such a silly thing to do on such a great backpack. It's just like, whatever you're losing by putting this cross, you know, in a different orientation from vertical here, this strap here, whatever you're losing from it, from doing that, just forget about that. Put this pass-through horizontal. Simple. I don't care what you lose from it, it needs to be horizontal. Because the amount that you lose from it being like this, when you have to put it like this, what you lose from it is more than what you'll gain from it, trust me. So I hope the director of the company is, the design director or ergonomics or whatever, is looking at this, because it's probably not, but it is really, this stops the bag from being excellent. It stops the bag from being excellent. It makes the bag a really good bag, but not excellent. If you are somebody that travels, let's say, several times a year, so you're a frequent traveler, maybe for work, maybe you just like traveling and you travel several times a year, I can't in good faith recommend this bag for traveling. I mean, if you travel occasionally, then the inconvenience of the pass-through, you know, you just kind of deal with it, you know. But if you travel several times a year, I can't recommend this. I can't, because you need a horizontal or vertical, let's say, luggage pass-through. You need it vertical like this. Simple as that. If it's not like that, it's going to cause you a headache. Now, again, if you don't travel that often, fine. But if you do, it could be a deal breaker and you might need a different bag for traveling. But generally, this bag is great. Overall, it does everything really well. It looks great. It's high-end. It's got high-end materials. It looks really good. And yeah, it's got lots of storage. When I got caught in a monsoon in Spain, it kept my stuff pretty dry. The only issue was that there's a little bit, the only issue is that a little bit of water got in this area here. So whatever was here got a bit damp. Just a little patch of water got on some of my stuff in here, just on this area where the water bottle is. So I'm not sure what's going on there, that the water got in. I don't know if it got in through behind here or something. I don't know, but everything else in here was bone dry. Everything else, everything in here, in here, in here. And my laptop was completely dry. Everything in here was completely dry. It just let in a little bit of water there. But yeah, by no means is that like a massive issue at all, because the amount of rain that was falling, even with an umbrella, I still got soaked. The bag still got soaked, like drenched. This thing was saturated with water when I got back to the hotel. Got to the hotel eventually, completely drenched, soaked with water. I had to sort of leave the bag open for a while to aerate, for the outside to aerate, and for the little tiny bit of water that got in there to dry out or whatever. But waterproofing is fantastic on this, really good. So just keep in mind that if you do have this packed full of stuff, it's going to keep the stuff 90% dry, which I think is okay. You don't get caught in monsoons very often. If it was a light rain, it would have been nothing. So yeah, it's really good. So yeah, overall, what would I give this backpack? So I'm going to give this backpack an 8.5 out of 10. For what it does really well. So the design of it overall is really good. Like, for example, the X-Pack material, the orange interior, all this storage, like the elasticated thing here, so you can put wires in there and they stay in there, you know. You know, you can put a tracking tile in there, like a, I don't know, what's it called? Something in there that you could air tag, that you can put in there. So if your bag goes missing, you know where it is. So you can put air tag or equivalent in here. This is great, really good feature. And overall, it's just so well designed. You know, laptop compartment, this area here, the lockable kind of zip thing here, the shoulder straps are super comfortable. It looks high end. You can wear it in any setting and it looks great. I had to knock off a good 1 point plus, because this thing, that luggage pass-through is a massive issue. I was thinking about giving it an 8 because of that, but I've decided the other things it does so well that it's still an 8.5 bag. So I've given it an 8.5, but that luggage pass-through, I've knocked off an entire point because of that. But overall, this bag is really, 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 really good. And I would recommend it if you want a bag that you can use for commuting, for very short one bag trips, going to the gym, etc, etc. Overall, it's just a really good backpack. The luggage pass-through thing really knocks this bag a bit. If you don't travel very often, fine. If you travel several times a year, use a different bag. But apart from that, if you're using it for commuting, the gym, very short trips, shopping, day-to-day, just general use, it is absolutely excellent. Borderline excellent, this backpack is. It is really, really good. So yeah, it gets an 8.5 out of 10. Really good backpack, really good capacity. Not too big, not too small. It can hold a generous amount of stuff without being too big of a backpack. So it's just great. So yeah, I thoroughly recommend this. Overall, it's a good commuting backpack and a good backpack in general. So that's my review.